Speaking of
China,
I would like to ask the next question is China and India, the other big nations in the world so far, have been going through their like industrialization process, like the United States went through a while ago. So obviously, the United States has said that if they were going to, obviously, even if the United States all tried to reduce their environmental impact, it's still kind of, the whole world would have to go along with it. So there have been discussions where, like, mock meetings between China, India, and the U.S. saying that United States had, like, if all of them decided to go straight to skip their interest. Okay, the United States has asked China and India that they can skip their industrialization process, with all the fossil fuels burning and stuff, and go straight to like more environmental friendly technology. And they're saying they could help them with that. They wouldn't just give it to them freely, but they would give them the resources to do that. So the question is, does everyone in the world need to participate, and how do you think the other people in the world will react to the United States saying, you guys have to do this too?
Okay, I'm sorry. As one person who's been to China, that place is so polluted. If you go to any of the more factory-based country or cities, such as Chongqing, it is based solely on its industrial impact in China. I've gone there, and being as an asthmatic and a person who's allergic to a lot of things, it's hard to breathe. It's hard to get used to. And there's so much pollution there that it causes such a thick humidity to surround the country that at 90 degrees and 100% humidity, it's disgusting. But do I think China would go along with America? I don't think so. China is so set in their ways on how they're doing things that they're not going to follow America. In fact, if America tried to force something on them, China would cut themselves off completely and be able to thrive.
It's not that the American perspective has to go out there and save the environment. It's the human perspective. Once the Chinese government realizes that they are people too, and they're not immune to this global climate change, then they have to realize, oh, maybe we shouldn't just do it for America. Maybe we should do it for ourselves and our future. But I think right now, their current economic time for them, they're more interested in expanding, gaining power, gaining money.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm going back on China, but China is the biggest example of this. China is not going to change their ways because they don't see a need to. Their people are being controlled by a government, okay? A government that says, we need these industries so that we can make money for ourselves. I don't know, China's a perfect example of why...
Michaela, can I say something really quick? We have nothing against the Chinese people, okay? So don't leave us comments on that.
Chinese government? China isn't as in the nation,
we have nothing against the
government. Not China as in like...
I'm sorry, okay, let me make a side note here. I have a thing against the Chinese government. Most of the people in China have a thing against the Chinese government. You can talk to my mom. She's Chinese. She would willingly, in America, I have to say in America, would say something against the Chinese government because she can't say it there. But I'm going back to China, not to beat up on the people of China, but to beat up on the government. Because the government sits there and controls every minimal thing. The government is saying we need these industries so that we can make money, so that we can help ourselves. And the government is not, Chinese government isn't doing this to help the people. It's doing it to help themselves.
And they have too many people. If they were interested in the people, the resources they would need to support that huge population, it would be impossible. So that's why they don't care about the people. There's just too many.
Well, it's not just that there's too many, because I mean they've made laws. There's a law in China. You can only have one child,
which everyone knows about.
Yes, which everybody knows about. If you have more than one child, you have to get rid of the child, whether it be leaving it on a bridge or unfortunately killing it.
Or adoption. They will force it into slavery/adoption.
Yes, but do you know, it's very rare that, like, when I say leaving it on a bridge, most children that are left on a bridge actually do get picked up and put into orphanages, but unfortunately it's very rare for a Chinese child to be adopted because of, once again, the government. Because the government sits there and they're like, oh, well, you can adopt our child for a lot of money and a lot of paperwork, as long as it benefits us. Or it benefits the government, not the child.
And another thing is, adopting Chinese children is almost a fad, if you haven't realized it. I mean, there's like several families all in my area, they adopted Chinese children. Not because, I don't think it's because they wanted to, oh, we need to save this special child. No, it's just because that's what everyone else is doing. Have a Chinese child.
Because it makes you look like a philanthropist.
Yeah,
it makes you look like you care.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, doing such a small like act of kindness as adopting a Chinese child, I mean, the global impact it's going to have is nil. I mean, sure, it might make a huge difference for that child, which is excellent, but not everyone can adopt, and not everyone can adopt foreign children. Even if everyone did adopt foreign children, we've still got this problem of, you know, overpopulation anyway.
Now we've moved all the children from China to America.
Now we're just relocated.
I do think that, I don't know, it's such a small representation, so I don't know how Indian people in India feel really, but from like videos I've seen and stuff, they do seem to want to copy US citizens or something. So if that really is the general feeling in India, I believe that China won't follow us, and if we push too hard, people won't follow us, but everyone cares about the earth, you know? And so maybe India's not going to do...
Well, they care about the earth as in what they can get out of it.
Yeah. And like, I'm thinking about like people here, like normal people like us, not like government officials.
Right.
But I think in India, probably they would, you know, follow suit in more environmentally friendly things, but China would be a lot harder.
Unfortunately, we can't push China.
Yeah.
No offense, but the U.S. shouldn't be pushing anybody.
Yeah,
and so
a bit hypocritical.
Yeah, until we fix our own problems, I don't think we should be pushing anybody. But
We can help people, but being like, hey, you gotta fix this, be like, look at you.
well, unfortunately,
Exactly.
America, no matter what government we become, somebody's gonna go, okay, China, or okay, India, or okay, Poland, or Europe, you gotta follow us because we believe in this. I mean, and no matter what, even if the government tries to be as nice as possible, there's gonna be those people inside the government, or I guess people in general, who, if we do actually fix America, which I'm sorry, but it's almost close to impossible, we can help it, but we're not gonna completely fix the problem.
The average citizen, you mean?
What do you mean?
Like, we can't fix, like, we who?
No, I'm just the nation.
Oh, okay.
The nation. I mean, we can help the problem, but there's no way that we can reverse
Well, exactly.
what's been done.
Like, what I think is that it's not the individual citizen's responsibility to save the environment. We can help, we can live environmentally conscious lives, but when you go up to the huge problems, the problems of, you know, the corporate problems, that is something that CEOs and corporations they have to get on the ball with this. And you know, I can't do anything as a single one person. I can, you know, reduce my own carbon footprint. I can buy organic products and care about the environment and spread the message. But I can't go and tell lumber companies to stop cutting down forests.
Well, you see, some lumber companies actually have a policy: knock down one tree, plant another there. They actually have these little nurseries.
Yeah.
But not all of them can afford to do that.
Not all of them want to do that.
I believe it's like my issue with like China and things like that. I don't get. It's like the government is a small thing and the people are like huge, you know. So in the same way, not an average citizen can't, you know, fix the corporate problems, but we can try to push people who can by getting together in masses and pushing on those CEOs to do what they need to do.
But if you're not